boy Shin Megami X, aka your Captain X, your leader of Squad X and your president of Squad 00. It's been a long time since I made a video, but I was going to start off, doing videos again with doing my Bleach reviews, but I'm going to start off with something a little bit different. You all know as of recently we've had the release of Naruto chapter 700+1, basically the Naruto 7th Hokage Gaiden. Alright. Now, my review's going to be coming out for that shortly. I'm actually going to do that later on this weekend. But there's something I wanted to talk about in regards to that chapter and a few things that are going around the internet in regards to anime characters and anime fathers in particular. Now, that's henceforth brings for the title of this video, anime fathers. Alright. Now, we've seen a case of some good fathers and some bad fathers in the case of anime, and a lot of people ask the question of whether Goku is a good father or a bad father and things of that nature. Firstly, let's touch upon the subject of Sasuke Uchiha, who basically was revealed to be in this chapter, in my opinion, a very bad father, because since his daughter Sarada was born, the girl's never met him. He probably was around when she was first born, but as in terms of her memory, she doesn't remember him. So basically, she never had a father figure in her life up to this date. So that's not good. That's not good, because it's not good. When you remove a father figure from a child's life, it affects them in certain ways. And yes, don't get me wrong, there are some mothers out there that do a great job in raising a child by themselves. But there are certain things that a father brings to the table that a mother can't. And don't get me wrong, a mother can do a great job at that, because there are some women out there that are exceptional. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Now, onto the case of Goku. A lot of people say that Goku is a bad father because especially in the end of the Buu saga, where he took off with Oob for about 10 years or something. As a father, that's not something that you really do, especially when you have responsibilities and you have children and a family to look after. Do you understand? It's not something that you go ahead and do. I don't condone that personally, but at the end of the day, the reason why I say you can't consistently call Goku a bad father is because, yes, Goku spends all of his time training. He hasn't really, pushed Gohan towards to do his education and stuff and things of that nature, which I thought these are key things that a father should do. But in terms of the character, that's Goku fights to save the world. If Goku doesn't fight to save the world, then there essentially is no future for him or his family, or the universe for that matter. So when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, you can't say that Goku is a bad father for protecting the entire universe when his son is essentially in that universe. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because without him, the universe would have been destroyed a long time ago. If it wasn't for him, his son wouldn't have a future. That's the bottom line. So you can't necessarily call Goku a bad father because of that. Now, when you look onto the character of Ging Freaks, in my opinion, Ging Freaks is a bad father, and I'm going to touch on something that's a little bit controversial right here, is that when you look at Ging Freaks doesn't seem to be a very mature adult figure, especially in terms of Gon's life. And now, the reason that I see behind that is that one thing annoys me more than anything in this world is when a woman decides to force a man into fatherhood, and that's basically some of you guys know it as calling it the baby trap or whatever. Now, I'm not saying that this is the case for these anime characters, but if you take things away from anime and look at it on a deeper scale, look at Ging Freaks as a character. He doesn't seem like he's the kind of character that is ready to be a father. He's still out adventuring and doing doing things that you would do in your early 20s or late teens. Do you understand? He doesn't fit the father character. Someone who is a father is meant to be, especially in Gon's life, is someone supposed to be mature, wise, and has a lot of wisdom and can guide him. That's essentially what a father is there for his son. But when you look at Ging Freaks, it seems like Ging Freaks fits the character role of somebody that was forced into fatherhood, and henceforth where you get those runaway dads, which I therefore don't agree with. So I'm not condoning Ging Freaks' actions the way that he neglects his son, but one thing I also must say to my female viewers and subscribers is that one of the worst things you can do in this world is force a man into fatherhood, but upon you doing that, there are a few things that a man do. There are some men, such as myself, that will step up to the plate and look after their child. But there are some men that will literally just jump ship and bounce. It just is what it is. And I'm not saying that is right, but it's two wrongs don't make a right. So it's wrong for the father to up and bounce, but it's also wrong for you to force him into fatherhood. Yes, we live in a day and age where there's contraception and there's protection, there's condoms, use them. But at the end of the day, there are extreme cases where accidents do happen. But it's a touchy subject. But the bottom line is, women, don't force a man into fatherhood. If you two have the conversation, he says that he's quite bluntly not ready, then you should respect that. And then that also touches on the whole subject of abortion, which I still don't believe is right either. Like me personally, I don't agree with it. But you also have to bear in mind the fact that when you are very young, of course you make mistakes, but are you in a situation where you can realistically raise a child? Some people do it. Some people well and do it, and some, I take my hat off to them. I've got a very good friend of mine, like very close friend, like one of my friends I grew up with for a long time. He has 2 children, and he's doing a great job with them, and no, my hat goes off to him. Complete respect. I can't do anything but respect him for that. But some guys can't do it. Like me personally, I'm not ready to have a child. That's just how I am. But that's just my main message, and that's just something that I wanted to get across in this video. Like, okay, you look at the characterization of Sasuke Uchiha. He's gone out. He's, wandering around doing whatever the heck he's doing. It hasn't been quite explained at this point. But Sasuke doesn't seem like the kind of person who has grown up to be a father either. Do you understand? But and same as Gin Freaks, he doesn't seem like the person who's grown up enough to be a father. Do you understand? He doesn't have that father-like mentality. And I get the same feel that from Sasuke Uchiha. Now, onto the subject of Sakura. Sakura, who is, looking after basically Sarada for Sasuke, who might not even be her child. Firstly, I'd like to say that it takes a very strong woman to be able to look after somebody else's child. Same way it takes a strong man to be able to look after somebody else's child and raise them as their own. It takes a lot out of somebody to do that, and you have to give somebody respect for doing that. So I know a lot of people are trolling on the internet saying that, oh yeah, basically Sakura is pathetic and whatnot, but you got to look at it on the flip side. It takes a very strong-minded woman to be able to do that. You look at this day and age. You look at some of the mothers around the world. Would they be willing to do that for for somebody else? To be honest, the answer is probably no. There are some women out there that would, and you got to take your hat off to them and respect them for that. So alongside that, yeah, it is kind of lame and it's kind of a butcher to Sakura's character, but in one regard. But the way I look at it is, in fact, it's actually an enhancement to Sakura's character, showing that how strong she actually is. Not in terms of just physically strong, like combat strong, but in terms of emotionally strong as well. Because it takes a lot for you to look after somebody's child who quite evidently seems at this point in the latest chapter doesn't love you the same way that you love him, but yet you're looking after his child, which his child might not even be your child. Do you understand? It takes a lot to do that, and you just have to give respect for something like that. So nonetheless, those are the few things that I wanted to cover in this video, and I will be doing the review of the new Naruto Gaiden 700+1 real soon. Also, my Bleach review is going to be coming out soon, because I told you I'm back and I'll be doing videos whenever I can, really. So I guess that's that. I just want to give my thoughts and just basically vent some things out and give the internet and my YouTube subscribers and everybody a new perspective on father figures in general in anime in terms of Goku, Sasuke and Ging. And then also in terms of Sakura's character as well. That's just the way I see things anyway. So you guys are feel free to disagree with me, but leave your reasons in the comment section below. And I guess that's it, guys. I'm signing out. And as always, my people, take care and peace. And remember, as I always say, keep it 99+1, and that's an order. There's a few things I've got to talk about before I ended the video. So the things I've got to talk about when I recorded the first part, I'm now going to talk about now. Excuse me. So here it goes. Okay. Firstly, I'd like to say, any man with a dick can be a father, but it takes a real man to be a good father. And basically, as a man, it's your responsibility to look after your family and guide your children to obviously not make the mistakes that you made in your life, for them to have a better future. Because at the end of the day, that is your responsibility as a father. Now, I know one thing I've got to say to hit and run fathers, hit and run fathers or fathers that are just not there throughout their child's life. I've got to say to you is this. I know there may be circumstances that, are preventing you from seeing your child, such as you might not get along with the mother, but you need to put alongside your differences with the mother and be there for the child, because at the end of the day, it's not fair that the child is affected, because the child didn't ask to be born. Do you understand? So you step up to the plate and be a man and, look after your family and your child. You don't have to get along with the mother. You don't even have to get along, but for the sake of the child, be there in the child's life. Do you understand? Now, on the subject of that, to my female subscribers and women in general, it's not nice for you to be very so vindictive if things don't work out between you and your partner or you and your child's father, because there's nothing worse you can do than stopping the father from seeing the child, because you're affecting the child, and then eventually, once the child comes to a certain age and realizes that that's what you've done, they will eventually turn on you, and you'll basically lose everything. Do you understand? It's like basically 2 negatives don't make a positive. So they do in maths, higher level maths, but they don't do in real life. Do you understand? So that's just basically my message about that. Like, women not to be so vindictive and men to step up to the plate. Do you understand? And those are the only things I wanted to say before I close out this video. So I'm signing out. Peace.